folks, and welcome to another apple tasting. I'm going to let Nigel this time explain what's happening.
This time we've got 12 late storing apples, and we're just seeing how well they're keeping. Potentially they're all first class apples at their prime, but some of them keep better than others. The date for the record is it 12th of March? I think it's 12th of March, yeah. I think it is, yeah. Might be the 13th.
Hang on, I can soon tell you. Yeah, 12th.
12th, good. So we've got a mixture of interesting apples here. There's just one red flesh this time, and most of the other ones are, well, from all over the world. First one we've got, now let's get my list, here we are. First one we've got is Spencer Seedless, and this is an apple which doesn't need bees to pollinate it. And usually the apples have no seeds at all, no pips. There you go, Julie.
Thank you.
It's a white-fleshed apple, often quite bland, but it still feels quite firm, so...
Before we go on any further, I just want to let you know, folks, we're using a different camera setup.
Yeah.
Because the camera I was using before, I got a bit hard up with funds and I had to sell it. So we're using the mobile phone, and you'll see me keep looking at my watch because I can see what's being filmed and what's not. So that's right.
Okay. Just could you say something about the scoring, Julie?
Right. We both score out of 5. 5 being excellent, can't find fault with anything at all. 4.5, we do in halves. 4.5 is nearly there, but there's something just slightly off. 4, it's excellent as well, but not perfect. Then we'll get down to 3. 3 is eatable on that. You could have it in your packed lunch, but it's nothing special. Anything less than 3 tends to be not very good.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Julie. So what do you think of the Spencer? It's quite firm, the texture's quite good, but what do you think to the flavour?
I think it's lacking flavour.
Yeah, I do. It's generally described as a fairly bland apple, and in fact if you cross it with other apples to get other varieties, it's quite good, but in its own right it's not a particularly good fruit. But it's acceptable. You could put it in your lunchbox and you'd eat it. Okay, so what are you going to give that? Let's see.
I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with it, is there? Yeah. No. So 3, and then we add the marks together to give us a total of 6.
6, which is obviously out of 10.
Yeah, yeah. Next one is a late apple. This is what we call mere pippin. This is a very late apple that we found hanging on the tree when we originally found the variety. We found it in the middle of February, fruit still on the tree. It wasn't on the tree as late as that this year because we had some very sharp frosts, but it's a superb keeper, and you pick it early November. And you can see the flesh is very white, and it's got a blush on it. And I put a cross on it because I wanted to have the seeds from this apple for later. It's firm and it's still holding on to its flavour quite well.
The skin's very tough there.
Yeah,
it's very hard to get through it at the end when you get the flesh of the apple and you're left with a bit of skin.
Yeah, that's the weakness of this apple, but the skin is a little bit tough. Well, in spite of that, I'm going to give it a 4.
I think 3.5 from me.
Okay. Now we looked at mere pippin before. It got 7 before, and this time it's got 7.5. So slight improvement. Some of these late apples do actually get more mellow and slightly sweeter on storage. Next one is Burford Redflesh. It's the only red-fleshed apple we've got today. It keeps superbly. Keeps all winter. It's really a cooker. I'll be interested to see what you think of the flavour. Sometimes this is almost uneatable raw, but when you cook it, it is superb. And it's definitely got hints of bitterness in there. Can you taste any of that, Julie?
Can I try another piece, please?
Yeah.
It's very soft, I can tell you that,
Yeah.
including the skin.
Yeah, the skin's
It's got
right.
a unique taste to it. It's a bit like fluffy-ish, is it? Is that the
Yeah,
word?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's sort of a little bit like cotton wool almost. Well, I'll be honest, I couldn't eat a whole one of that. I find it very bitter. But it's possible that, I remember from previous that you don't always taste the bitterness in some of these fruit. So perhaps you'd like that. I'm only going to give it a 2.
Ah,
What do you reckon?
no, I reckon it's 3.5.
That's
Not
interesting.
bad,
That's
yeah.
interesting. So some people
I could eat the whole one.
some people perceive bitterness quite differently to others, and some people can hardly taste some bitter substances, like say quinine. Right, next one is Gala, and we've got a comparison here between Gala in a shop and Gala which I've grown. This is the one from the shop.
It's a small garden, then.
Oh, it is, yeah, yeah.
Normally bigger than that.
Well, mine was like that, so I wanted something that was comparable in size.
Right, yeah.
But this was from the local grocers. It was sold as a children's apple.
Right.
Well, it's firm, quite juicy. Skin's a bit tough.
To me, it's just lacking the taste.
It's a bit watery, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no sort of strength to the taste.
Maybe I've been eating apples what I bought from the supermarket for
Yeah.
2 weeks, and they're absolutely full of flavour. I don't know what this particular one is because I bought 3 lots. I had the Pink Lady, I'm not sure what it was, Jazz, and then there's this other bag which was like a bulk thing, but it didn't have a name for them, and that's what I've been eating at the minute,
Yeah,
and they've
yeah.
been lovely.
Well, that one was nothing special, was it? Really, I can't give it much more than a 3. I don't think. Perhaps 3.5. It's
Yeah, 3.5.
yeah. Well, let's try the homegrown ones. It wasn't a particularly good year for Gala, and it is susceptible to scab. This one hasn't been sprayed, but the shop one will have been. But you can see there are scab marks on it, sort of black blotches, but that doesn't affect the flavour. It's a little bit softer, but mine's not been in cold store. That one would have been in a cold store.
I like this one. I think it's best so far,
Mm.
and I'll give that a 4.
Yeah, it's better than the last one. The
Yeah.
flavour is better, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll have another piece. You know when I ask for another piece.
The flesh is a different colour too. This is pale cream, and the other one was almost white. Yeah, I agree. 4, I think.
Yeah.
Mm. But mine don't look good enough to sell because of the black blotches on the skin. Right, next one is an apple that we found in Norfolk, and we've grafted a few trees. This is the Durant apple.
Okay.
It's cutting nicely, it's quite firm.
That's certainly got a different taste.
Strange flavour, isn't it? Yeah. It's difficult to describe what the flavour is.
If I was blindfolded and the skin wasn't on it, I wouldn't know what fruit it was.
Is it a bit like a pear? I'm not sure it's like a pear or not. You have another bit. It tastes slightly grassy, sort of flowery. And there's hints of confectionery in it. There's a hint of Parma violets in it, but only a hint. But it's very grassy and sort of fresh tasting. I quite like that. I'm going to give that 4.5.
4 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, a bit different. Next one is an apple we found outside Burford. This is probably our longest keeping apple. It usually keeps round in fairly good condition until about June.
That's Cotswolds, isn't it?
Cotswolds, yeah.
Yeah. That's in England, folks,
Yeah.
for those of you watching outside.
Yeah. It still feels very, very firm. And usually these are not picked until New Year's Day or later. But this year we had a severe frost in early December, so we had to pick them earlier. Seems very firm when I'm cutting it. It's a bit dry though, isn't it? Not much juice in it, but lots of taste. A bit more.
Yeah, right.
It's dryish, firmish. Personally, I like it, but I can see that a lot of people wouldn't. It's not like a supermarket apple. It's not juicy. I think I'm going to give that.
3.5.
4 for me, I think. Yeah, 3.5. It is a superb keeper, and it will keep in that condition for another 12 weeks or so. Without a cold store, that is. Next one is a Californian apple, Crimson Gold. You can see it's sort of half russety and half shiny.
With apples, Nigel,
Yeah.
what sort of temperatures can they withstand, the trees?
If you're talking about cold temperatures, when the fruit are on, if you get more than about 2 days below -4 centigrade, the fruit will go squishy. Even most of these will go squishy. Most apples will store okay on the tree just below freezing point, about 30 Fahrenheit, which is
I was
-1.
asking because I was just wondering whether they could be grown in Alaska.
Oh yeah, but you'd have to have an
They
apple
only
that...
have a 3 month.
Yeah, you'd have to have a rapid ripening one, but there are varieties like that. I've got 1-2 varieties from Estonia, and they have a short summer as well, and they have to be very rapid ripening.
Now this one is the best one so far. That's a 4.5.
Well, that's like a russet. It tastes like a russet, even though it's not fully
Another
russeted.
piece for me,
Great. That's good. This one was bred by a guy called Albert Etter, and it needs a long ripening season to ripen fully, and for some reason this year, in spite of the poor weather, it's ripened really well. Yeah, 4.5, I agree. It's slightly soft, but it's lovely and mellow and slightly nutty.
Very nice.
Next one is a very familiar fruit, but it doesn't look quite like the ones in the supermarkets. This is Golden Delicious, but grown by me. You can see it's got lots of markings on it. And this condition here is known as fruit spot. It's a fungal infection, I suppose, but it doesn't affect the flavour of the fruit, and it can make it look quite pretty. Okay, Julie.
Yeah.
Golden Delicious is a good keeper. We don't like that one very much. Past its best, isn't it? Yeah, it's gone over. I'd have a job to eat that, I think. Only a 2.5 for me.
3 for me.
Yeah.
So far so good with the recording, Nigel.
Yeah.
17.5 minutes.
Good.
It's not cut out, so.
Good. Next one is from Austria. A person in Austria sent me this. This is called Maschance. It's a flattened conical sort of shape. Yellow all over, white fleshed. Still feels quite firm. It's quite a nice balanced flavour. Skin's nice and thin. Yeah, nothing special. 3.5 for me, I think.
Yeah, same for me.
It's a nice shape though. Make a nice children's apple for a lunchbox. The next one was found in the village where you used to live, Julie, on Devitt Way. This is from a council planting.
Right.
They planted a load of seedlings at the side of the road, and this one has got a really nice flavour, so we call it Devitt Pippin. There you go. You can see it's not a nice reddish colour for most of the skin. Nice white flesh inside there. Fairly firm. Stronger flavour than the last one, a bit more fruity.
4.5 for me.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got a bit of depth to the flavour.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we were quite pleased when that came good. We found the tree about 5 years ago.
I think we scored high on this previously, haven't we?
Yeah. What did we do, Devitt Pippin, last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, 4.5,
Yeah.
9. So it's holding up very well. It's just as good now as it was. And the last one is Utopia. This is from Lubera, the Swiss nursery. Nice eating apple, still feeling nice and firm. You can see the colour's good. It's got a cream sort of flesh. Cream flesh is often associated with a good flavour. It's a different sort of taste. Oh, I've given you a bit that doesn't look very good.
No. Not got a grub in.
No, it's not grub, but it's I think it's slightly bruised. There you go. If there was a grub in it, I would have left it with you.
No.
Different sort of flavour with that one. Quite concentrated.
Skin just dissolves in your mouth.
I think that's, for me, it's another 4.5.
I think I really quite like that one, to be honest.
5.
I think I'm going to give it a 5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's top scored today. That's very interesting. The reason I put it last is I thought it might be the best.
Right.
So, yeah. Right, I'll hold the scorecard up.
What about that one, the big one at the back?
Oh yeah, the big one, I brought that one just to illustrate the third apple that we did, which was Burford Red Flesh. The more useful size for Burford Red Flesh is that, and most of them are actually big, and that makes them very good for cooking, easy to process. So it'll taste the same as that one, but I just brought it to show people how it usually grows. Yeah, I chose a small one for the tasting. Right, so Utopia has top scored. We've had 2 9s, Crimson Gold and Devitt Pippin, and lots of also rans. If you have a look at your watch, and I'll hold it up and tell me if it's in
Yeah, that's
view.
fine.
Is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
There we go. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry that we had to change the camera. I hope the view that you've had and the sound are okay. Please let us know in the comments if anything needs improving, and we hope to be with you again for the new season in a few months.
Okay. Thanks for watching, folks, and bye for now.
Yeah, bye for now.